Hi guys, B here. So today let's talk about language learning strategies. I think last time I mentioned that I will share with you strategies that I used in learning the language. So I think we will start off with speaking and listening because I think these are the two that I learned first in school. Well, even though like I learned grammar first anyway, but speaking and listening are the skills that I think you need in communicating with other people outside of the classroom most of the time, like maybe in the business meeting, maybe at school, with your peers, with your friends, when you discuss projects, or when you're traveling, when you have to ask questions to ask for direction or recommendations to go travel somewhere else. So something that I think everybody can relate. So I have a little story to share with you. So when I learned when I actually like traveled to Australia for the first time, and that time I actually studied English for over, I don't know, 10 years. And I think I feel confident enough that I could communicate with people in Australia pretty well. And I went to the hostel and I checked in, and during the check-in that I actually realized that I need to practice more of listening and speaking. I mean, I spoke with the person, well, but when I listened to the Australian accent for the first time, it was very difficult for me to understand. I pretended that I understood, I nod and I smile, and I try to ask questions, but inside, I felt so afraid because I could not understand the majority of what he or she was saying, because I think it was that I like good day that actually throw me off because I never actually experienced Australian accent for the first time. So I think that goes to show that the more practice of you in learning it, speaking and listening, the better you are at it. Well, when I actually start learning English, I learned the same as you were in school, in the classroom with the teacher and grammar book and practice and drills, conjugating the verbs, writing down answers, trying to find the answers of the English text. And then I also goes beyond that because I wanted to practice more. So when I wanted to practice speaking, I usually go to a coffee shop somewhere that maybe and I would approach the person who sat next to me, who maybe a foreigner, a tourist, a traveler, and I would approach them and ask them like whether they could speak with me for 5 minutes, and then that way I get to practice a short or small talk conversation about their trip, and or maybe recommendation that he or she may need in traveling to the next location, or I may have questions about the English language, right? So and they could actually help me to gain more understanding, explain something that I may not actually have exposed to in the textbook. And don't be afraid to ask them because if they're not busy, they will most likely want someone to talk to. And with when I travel, I also enjoy talking to other people too. So don't be afraid if you see maybe to foreigners, maybe tourists that come to your city, come to your town, show them around, maybe like volunteer, sometimes actually volunteer, to show them around, to be like, hey, I'm free today. If you if you're free, maybe I could show you around here if you want to, so like, you don't charge them any money, right? So, it's a free service because you get to practice your English, you make friends, and, it's a win-win for both of them. And then when I actually want to practice my listening, I would go into watching movies or listening to music or YouTube's, right? Because right now you can actually turn on the closed captioning on YouTube's, that you can actually read and see what they're talking about if you don't really understand what they're saying. The same thing that I did when I was studying English. So I would watch a DVD or a CD at a time, or VCD. I watch a DVD, and then I would turn on the subtitle, and then I can also read and listen to the actors talking to each other, to the characters interacting with each other. You can see the accent, listening to them, and then you can also practice speaking. There was one time that I watched a movie and I wanted to practice that term because I think the way that the actor actually said it was very nice. So that's actually the term is regular. No, the term is regularly, right? So like it was so difficult for me to say at the beginning because I actually had to practice regularly, 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 repeatedly, so many times. Um, but in the end, I kind of get used to that pronunciation. However, when I speak, in real life, I still have a slip of the tongue. So the R may not be rolled enough, and but it is what it is because people actually understand what I actually try to say. Some people may actually correct my pronunciation, which I don't mind. Like some people may feel offended by it, or some people may not. But they, as long as they did not make fun of it, I think like I am okay with it. But if they correct your pronunciation, don't feel bad because everybody has their own accent. Even in the U.S. itself, we have the North, the New England accent. They have the Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, West Coast, Southwest, and then they all have their own accent. So everybody will correct you at some point, but don't worry about it. The more they like, maybe sometimes you can learn more from them by just listening and maybe try to ask them questions to actually show them that you're interested in learning. Don't be afraid to do that. And then I also listening to music a lot, like especially like old music, like oldies, like 60s, 70s, because those are the like when they articulate the sound, they articulate it really clearly, and it's just easier to understand. And also, like I print out the word from the song, the lyrics from the songs, and I can read along. I could also sing along if like I see like I have no one around me. I would sing along it a little bit. And then so I can practice my pronunciation. It's just about all the muscle, right? Because we use a lot of muscle when we speak, and the more you practice, I think the better you are at it. So those are a few things that I actually did when I was a student. And if you have any questions or comments, please make sure to write down your comments below so other people can actually, see your comments and your questions. And if you happen to share your strategies in your learning, please do, because we all can learn from each other. Okay? So thank you for watching. Bye!